Hello. Hello. Hi everyone. My name is Devyani, Shorey, and some of you may recognize me from a show that I'm a part of called Mismatched. Now, if you watch the show, there's an incredibly powerful arc which sheds light on a character's struggle with panic attacks. I think the show did a wonderful job in representing how scary panic attacks can be. It was a particularly emotional experience for me to be a part of a project like that because I was experiencing exactly that in my personal life. So today, I'll be talking to you about my struggle with panic attacks, how I developed an anxiety disorder and recovered from it. Now, there's a lot of conversation about mental health today. Lots of people are talking about it. People are coming forward, sharing their experiences. Efforts are being made to destigmatize mental health, which is great. But unfortunately, there is still little to no conversation about recovery. How does one recover from a panic disorder or a generalized anxiety disorder? Is full recovery possible? Is medication the only hope? I'm going to try my best to answer all of these questions today. My struggle with panic attacks began when I was 22 years old in my final year of college. I'm sure all of you can relate. Final year of college is not easy. You really don't know where your life is going to take you from there. I had started to panic more, worry more. I was really overwhelmed. And I was just more irritable and more cranky. But I thought I was okay. Till I was not. I remember waking up one morning, it was the 13th of Feb, 2018, and I was feeling very uneasy, I just knew something was off. And that's when I had my first ever panic attack. I didn't know what was going on because I had never experienced anything like that before. I was sweating, shivering, my heart was pounding. And as the panic attack died down, I couldn't help but wonder when the next one would pop up. And there it was. Another one, and another one, and another one. And just like that, I became stuck in a vicious cycle of panic attacks, and I was completely riddled with fear. I lost 15 pounds, became unrecognizable, stopped going out, stopped meeting my friends, didn't enjoy the things that I once loved to do. And honestly, I would just sit in my room and think about the person that I used to be, the happy and outgoing girl that I once was. And it all seemed like a distant memory. I went to many doctors, therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, and I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, depression, and phobic anxiety. I tried everything I could. I mean, you name it, and I have probably tried it. I tried yoga, meditation, breathing techniques, which made me feel better, but didn't really help me in the long run. I remember sitting with my therapist and talking to them for hours about my childhood, thinking that somehow maybe my childhood was responsible for the way I was feeling. But nothing helped. For those of you who have never experienced a panic attack, the only way I can describe it is feeling like someone very close to you has died and you just heard the news. And I felt like that 24/7. It was very difficult, but I'm fortunate that I found a solution. Now, it's important to understand that anxiety as an emotion is completely different from anxiety as a state. Anxiety as an emotion is natural and normal. I'm sure if tomorrow you were to take an exam, you would feel anxious. And as would I. And today, before this talk, I was anxious, but that's fine. Anxiety as a state is completely different. A person suffering from an anxiety disorder is experiencing symptoms ranging from panic attacks to intrusive thoughts making them feel like they're not good enough, they will never recover. Everyone else has it so much easier. To physical symptoms like heart palpitations, digestive issues even. They feel disconnected from reality, from themselves. Now, if you really want to understand what happens to a person when they're suffering from an anxiety disorder, I'll tell you what happens. Our ancestors were hunters and gatherers who lived in jungles. Now, anxiety was essential because it protected them from potential threats like being eaten up by a tiger. So when they would go out to hunt, their body would produce this excess adrenaline to protect them, because this adrenaline would make them run faster. It would make them more aware and it would make them more agile. And as they would return, the body would go back to its normal state of being. When you suffer from an anxiety disorder, your brain thinks that there is a tiger around you 24/7. So, if that's what an anxiety disorder does, all you need to do in order to recover is make your brain believe that there is no tiger. And I will come back to this in just a moment. How many of you have heard of Sigmund Freud? I'm sure a lot of you. He's the father of psychoanalysis, extremely respected and written about. Even Carl Jung. What about her? Anyone knows who she is? Well, if Sigmund Freud is the father of psychoanalysis, then she is the mother of anxiety recovery. Her name is Claire Weekes. Now, who is Claire Weekes and what is it that she did and discovered that no one else could? Well, in 1927, Claire was a student on her way to becoming the first woman to receive a doctorate of science. But she got misdiagnosed with tuberculosis. As a result of that, she started to worry, panic, and developed an anxiety disorder. She struggled with anxiety for over 2 years, but found a cure. How? Actually, through a stroke of luck. She was talking to a soldier who had returned from World War I and explained her condition to him. He understood what she was saying and told her that many other soldiers who had returned from the war were experiencing similar symptoms, and the only way to deal with this and recover from this was to let it be, accept it, and float with it. Now, honestly, if someone would tell me that, I wouldn't get it, but Claire Weekes was an exceptionally intelligent woman, so she understood what he was saying. She understood that her resistance to the symptoms of anxiety was making it stay alive. Her resistant behaviors, not wanting to face the panic, running away every time she faced it, had caused her nervous system to become extremely sensitive. Now, as you all know, the nervous system is a complex network of organs and nerves in your body, and it controls all of your body's functions. She coined the term nervous illness or nervous system sensitization, which today we call generalized anxiety disorder. Now, what is nervous system sensitization? What is nervous illness? Let me show you. Let's say that you are a healthy person and your nervous system is very strong. So the strength of your nervous system is up there, and you're faced with normal life stressors. For example, my boyfriend just broke up with me. That's a huge stressor. Or my family just doesn't understand me. I don't know what I'm going to do after college. I think I'm going to fail tomorrow's exam. Right? These are all normal life stressors. But because your nervous system is strong, you're able to handle all of these stressors and go through life normally. But what happens when your nervous system becomes sensitive? It becomes weaker and the strength of your nervous system drops. So the same stressors You just can't handle them anymore. For a person who's nervously ill or sensitized, even mundane tasks like waking up in the morning seem impossible to do. So just imagine what they go through when they're faced with real life stressors. Honestly, life just becomes unbearable. Now, how do you desensitize your nervous system? How do you bring it back up here? Let's talk about recovery. Claire Weeks says that there are 4 pillars of anxiety recovery. Number 1, face. Number 2, accept. Number 3, float. And number 4, let time pass. Let's talk about step number 1, face. For a highly sensitized person suffering from an anxiety disorder, the last thing they want to do is face their symptoms. Nobody wants to face a panic attack, they want to run away from it. Oftentimes, they lock themselves up at home, avoid social gatherings, as I did. But what if I told you that you avoiding these symptoms is actually what causes them to stay and keeps them alive? Remember I said that a sensitized person's brain thinks that there is a tiger around them waiting to eat them up? Well, when you start avoiding situations, you are essentially reinforcing to your brain that there is a tiger. And so anxiety must stay. Now, your brain doesn't understand the difference between a real threat and a perceived threat. And the only language that your brain understands is behavior. So when you start behaving as though there is no tiger, even though your brain may believe that there is, your brain understands that maybe it's getting scared for no reason and actually maybe there is no tiger. So well, let's just go out and do the things that I want to do. It is through your behavior that you teach your brain that it is safe. Because it is your behavior that caused you to get into the state in the first place. Anxiety happens to you, but it also happens by you. I'll give you an example. Let's say you avoid going to parties because you feel terrible. Well, if that's what you're scared of, do exactly that. You'll probably feel scared the first time you do it, and the second, and the third, and the fourth, but eventually your brain will catch on. It will understand that there is nothing to worry about. And after a while, you'll actually start enjoying going to parties. Step number 2, accept. I don't know what you're talking about, I can't accept this. How do you expect me to accept a panic attack? You can't expect me to accept a panic attack, that's too much. I get it. Panic attacks are debilitating. But when I say accept, I don't mean that you have to like your anxiety or your symptoms. Acceptance simply means continue doing whatever it is that you're doing and gently bring your attention back to the present moment, regardless of how you feel. Let's say you're studying and you're graced with a panic attack. This used to happen to me a lot. I would be studying and there it was, a panic attack. So I would shut my books, start crying, call up my mom, and blah, 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 of course. But when I started to learn and understand that acceptance is what heals you, I started accepting it. I let it be. I just kept on studying. And this is extremely difficult to do at first because you're so used to avoiding these symptoms. And you probably won't even remember anything that you've learned, but that's fine. With time, you will. This is the only way your brain will understand that it's freaking out for no reason. You do not need to be protected. You are fine. By now, I'm sure you've understood that anxiety recovery is very paradoxical. It's counterintuitive. You need to do the opposite of what you feel, and that's why breathing techniques and yoga and meditation doesn't really work because you're still trying to feel better. You wanting to feel better in the moment is what makes it stay. Another very, very debilitating symptom of panic disorder is intrusive thoughts. Actually, I won't even call it a symptom of anxiety disorder. Everyone goes through it, right? We all have intrusive thoughts. These thoughts tell us things like, we're not good enough, Why are you even studying? You're going to fail. Your friends have it so much better. I don't think my girlfriend really loves me. I think my boyfriend is cheating on me. I don't think I will ever recover from this disorder. So how do you handle these intrusive thoughts? You do the same thing. You accept them. When I say accept your intrusive thoughts, you do not need to accept what they are telling you. You simply need to accept that you are having a thought. Let the thought come and go. Bring your attention back to the present moment and keep doing whatever it is that you're doing. Just let it be. Don't even try to replace a negative thought with a positive one. This is where a lot of people go wrong. That is also engaging with the thought. That is also you giving importance to that thought. Just let it be. As you keep disengaging with these negative thoughts and these negative feelings, your brain realizes that they just aren't generating the same emotional reaction anymore. And as a consequence of that, your brain starts to believe that they're not important. What happens when your brain thinks that something is not important? It stops producing those things. It stops creating those things. The most important part of recovery is understanding that acceptance is not used to make yourself feel better in the present moment. You will not feel better in the present moment when you accept it. You'll probably feel quite bad, but it's okay. Acceptance is a skill that you develop as you keep bringing your attention back to the present moment. And I'm saying this again and again because this is the crux of anxiety recovery. It does not matter how you feel. Just keep doing what you're doing. Let it be. Step number 3, float. Claire Weeks always said that don't be impressed by your symptoms. You know, they will do anything and everything to make you want to scream and shout and run and cry because they are designed to do that. Anxiety is just trying to protect you because you've made your brain believe that something is terribly wrong with you. Just let it be. Float through the symptoms like you're swimming. Starve your symptoms. Do not give them the emotional reaction that they want from you. Recovery will happen in the background as a consequence of acceptance. Claire Weeks went on to write many books. She's helped thousands of people recover completely from their anxiety symptoms. She believed that you do not need hours of talk therapy talking about your childhood. You don't need to just manage or cope. You can actually fully overcome this. Essentially, all Claire tried to teach us and every great philosopher in the world has tried to teach us is to be in the present moment. When we live in the present moment, away from the worries of the future and the mistakes that we've made or the sorrows of the past, we are teaching our brain a new algorithm, a new way of being. As you keep practicing this, your brain becomes more and more resilient. It starts understanding what you're doing. It starts disengaging with things that do not matter and do not serve you. You become a master of your mind and you are not controlled by it anymore. And honestly, this is the only way to live. For those of you in the thick of this, feeling like you will never recover, that this is just too painful and there is no hope. There is hope and so much of it. As you keep practicing acceptance, you will see the power that lies within you. Because it is only you who can get yourself out, and you will. Thank you.
Thank you, Devyani, for sharing your story with us.
Thank you.
And I think all of us can relate to it in some form or another. And as a token of our appreciation and thanks for you, that you've come all the way here, we'd like to present a memento to you. So I request Dr. Shorey, our faculty advisor, to present a memento to Devyani.
Thank you.